I don't know. It's tough to say. I think Quick Esports, on paper, I think are the better team here. I think Hattori, she's been an unbelievable tank player for the team and been kind of a standout in EU for quite some time, very much on the up and coming. Their backline as well is incredibly good. With Vendetta, on the other hand, with the power of A and J, do we live by the power of NJ? That's the question. Because Hybrid obviously is playing off role here, and I think China has also been really good, especially when Tracer was like perma meta. But it's tough to say. I think the ANJ interview last week, it really put a fire in my belly. Like Vendetta, they're going to go far, but against Quick Esports, we've been together for a little while at this point. Like, I don't know. It's a tough ask, I think. And the ANJ highlights from last week were so silly, and they did win obviously against the OTP team. So I'd say it's hard actually to really know the full power level of Vendetta right now.
Yeah, and that's always the hardest thing with any of these teams, right? You know, as we go into between stages, teams change or teams, metas change. You never know really what to expect from any of these teams. It could be anyone's game on any given day. So, it could go either way. As you said, I think Quick Esports are probably the team that you would expect to be coming out of this, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah. I do feel like there is a chance that it could go very close, but I mean, we would have to wait and find out until the match is starting, which is going to be right now. The match is going to start right now, so Scott and Jack, take it away.
Thanks, Danny. It's all good. You get another coffee in the system, you'll be fine. It's all good. Don't worry. It's still early. It was early for us as well when we woke up, It's all good. We're chilling. We're up for some early Overwatch. Then we've got NA to watch later today. A whole day of it. A whole weekend of it. Of course, we've got tomorrow too. Here we go. Lijiang Tower. Quick Esports' pick. Who's really surprised? Absolutely nobody.
One of these days, we're going to play one of the other control maps.
No,
Today
why
is
would
not
you
that
do
day.
That? Why would you play another control map in the pool? Come on.
I swear EU players, they're all just like, when they go into scrims and they're like, guys, let's play Lijiang Tower for the first hour and then we'll try all the other maps.
Yeah, we'll maybe dabble. We'll have like one round of Ilios or something.
Yeah. So, let's see what we get here. Will we see more Reinhardt to Danny's pleasure? Or will we see something different?
It's not happening. I don't know.
She's already on it. I don't know what you want.
I'm not believing.
You're not a believer?
Well, I want to, but it's hard. It's sometimes hard. And the crazy things have happened. Honestly, the Bastion with the Mei, with the Ryan. Okay, now maybe we're getting a little bit spicy here.
With the Lucio Zen, yeah, a perfectly well-rounded composition that I'm looking at from Quick Esports right now.
He's got a quest for you. Pick it up.
They're gonna go double speed on us?
Yeah, this is kind of what the look we saw from them the other week. I mean, it's a bit interesting because I don't think the Lucio is overall that strong with the Juno.
Yeah.
I guess when you are playing a comp that relies on the Bastion just kind of popping off like this, having a double speed up is actually quite useful. Although Hybrid is trying to make the Bastion's life a living hell at the moment, but look at the damage coming out from the Bastion right now. Although Stubble going down first, not a good start. Cookies claiming the kill.
Because Quick Esports, you saw as that fight just happened, their entire composition is built around dropping the wall, isolating a target, going into sentry form for the Bastion, and then blowing up a target. If they don't get that pick in the beginning, it can be really difficult. They don't have a lot of sustain outside of that because they're playing the Lucio, so they need to play fast. As you can see, they're trying to take down Hybrid.
Oh, they're trying, but it's actually Ken that falls to A and J. It's really tough. Even the Orisa, to be fair, with the amount of healing that you have on the side of Vendetta, like the Juno and the Brig, the Orisa pops gold, the Bastion just can't chew through that unless you got some sort of like damage amp. It's really not possible.
And the biggest issue they're going to run into as well is Venture and Cassie are just going to be doing so much damage while you're trying to isolate. If anything, I'd prefer to see them run past the Orisa and try and isolate some of the other targets because the Orisa is just going to be unkillable while they have the cooldowns up.
Oh, look at this flank angle as well. Nice little move there, stops the Venture going into the burrow, but they're already out of it. And there goes Strebel again. There's Raze doing a lot of work, but as soon as the Bastion comes out of form, spoke about the need of a damage amp. You've got to time those incredibly well. If you could just survive if you're Vendetta, and survive you do, especially with Rally, it's super easy to pick apart this comp. Quick Esports there, coming up on ult, Scott, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, and we said, everyone just, anything can happen in this situation. Quick Esports coming out with this unique composition. It is not working for them right now. So they're going to start with the Bastion ult, trying to give themselves a little bit of space, but Vendetta says no, they're going to go aggressive with that.
Cookie goes down to a pit. Here comes the Terror Surge.
Ajax.
Hybrid with 2, and not like this. The Ajax from the Terror Surge, and yeah, that's definitely Cookie Esports going down in this round.
Somehow, Lauren does manage to get ANJ with 1 health remaining, and that should at least give Quick Esports an opportunity to flip it back. Hybrid wants to fight for it, though.
Yeah, although you say that, Hybrid popping CDs there to keep himself alive on the point. Hitori has got the Shatter soon. She's 10% away. High ground control now from Cookie. Struggle going down, what, for the 4th or 5th time in a row first. Lauren does find China. But that's it. That is Vendetta taking the first round, 100-0.
And just playing the more traditional composition that you would expect, right? Playing the Orisa, playing the Brig, you know, you're really seeing why people have been playing that composition. It feels very well-rounded. You can keep your Orisa alive. Quick Esports trying to play quick, trying to play to their namesake, but just not able to find the picks. And now you're starting to see some wholesale swaps coming out from Quick Esports. And it looks like we're ending up in an Orisa.
Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe the Bastion. Maybe the Bastion May is just for the silly times. Oh, nice. Another one?
Wait.
Oh.
I feel like did they remove the confetti? They didn't, right? They better not have.
No, I did. Maybe it's a spec thing, because no, there's still confetti.
Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Because the first one looked good. So
Yeah, I don't know. No, they patched it and were like, we've had enough fun in spawn room.
yeah.
You should be talking about strategy, not scoring hoop.
Fixed a bug where confetti would come out of the basketball hoop.
Yeah, fixed a bug. It's been in the game since 2017. It's crazy how it lasted so long.
It is crazy. Ooh.
Good rockets.
Both teams playing Pharah here. Actually, mirror compositions except for the Ashe versus the Cassidy, and Lauren's going to find the pick on the Cookie to begin with, and that is just so much damage from Hybrid.
I tell you, Orisa is just so silly.
Yeah.
Such a silly little creature is the Orisa. You can't do anything as a DPS or a support as they run at you. All right, Vendetta. Oh, good spear.
Lovely spear.
Yeah, it's going to be hard now, especially with the Pharah actually on the point too. Although China does need some quick assistance. A couple of packs there thrown out by ANJ. It's already pretty low. Then Jay secures the kill. Just 2 Junos fighting in the skies as well.
Now, yeah, Vendetta looking very comfortable playing this composition. Just able to keep it alive. Now they have the rally. They have the orbital ray coming up. So Quick Esports gonna have to find a way to get into this fight and give Ken an opportunity to shoot here as well. Never mind, there is a rallying brig running in your face.
Uh-oh, well, that's the Ashe dead for sure. Corona sends it falling down. Same with A&J though, traded. And that rally, all that overhealth gone, evaporating just like that. A&J falls. Quick push here from a Quick Esports. There's a Ray and a Terror Surge. You are not surviving that. An extremely late Ray coming through as well. Not sure about that one as Quick Esports handily deal with Vendetta.
And that all goes back to ANJ overextending just a little bit. Like, I love the fast rally push that they've decided to do, but just a little overzealous, took too much damage. And once they got that 1-for-1 trade, Quick Esports are just able to use their own ultimates to be able to turn that around. So now it's on Vendetta to find their window into the fight. Both Pharahs having barrage. Actually, China's lagging behind a little bit, but should get that one pretty soon. How do you find a window to barrage? It's such a difficult ultimate to use, especially against these heroes.
Really hard. Terror Surge available from Hybrid, looking at the backline right now, but here comes the rally from Strebor. Already China dead. Yeah, no need to use anything here. The one rally will do it. Aren holding on to the barrage.
And that's textbook rally push right there from Quick Esports. Bait them in, go aggressive, able to punish anyone who is just a little bit too far ahead. So it's not the worst of your Vendetta, just a little bit of percentage. Teamfight lost, reset, go on to the next one. Same thing once again. Walking through the mega health pack, trying to take some space, but you can see Quick Esports, because they have the Pharah and the Ashe just sitting so far on the back of the point, it can be so difficult to dislodge. Cookie's gonna go peeking around the side on their own. Can be very isolating.
Terror Surge comes in, hits 2. Very quick one. That was like, what, like 10% or something? China Loren coming up with kills as that barrage hits the backline. A&J didn't stand a chance. That bomb coming up with kills though as China receives a direct rocket from Loren. It's just a very scrappy fight on the point, but Hybrid just locking it down. Loren's still alive, and Quick Esports still controlling the point too. China takes one rocket, quickly dashes to the left as Loren has to dash back to that mega health pack. A clip is coming in, and there it is. Vendetta do end up controlling. The Forest still in this fight, but not for much longer.
All right. Now you're going to see Vendetta holding on to some of their ultimates as well. Oh, wow. They're going very quick once again. You see them trying to get the punish onto Hitori. She's so aggressive right now.
1 HP.
They're all 1 HP.
Yeah, she ends up getting out alive, but same can't be said for the backline of Quick Esports there. As Vendetta, their tempo play here, Scott, is quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
And,
no!
Oh my word.
No!
Ran out of fuel at the last moment there. That is...
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything.
I did. I saw it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one, yeah. In 4K, actually.
Now Vendetta trying to close out this map right now. They have the ultimates. China with the barrage. Oh, but that orbital ray is going to give so much damage and healing. And Cronus is already down.
Oh my... Oh, where did China go? Just absolutely deleted. Quick Esports. Off the back of that one ray, might be able to cap. Yeah, they do end up losing 10 though. And here comes the rally. So Vendetta with a very quick re-engage here and a bash and a whip shot into the wall. And Strebel ends up going down. A&J taking over the map as Vendetta find themselves on the point and get the cap as well. So this is Hybrid just trying to survive this Terror Surge right now. But look at the incoming fire. The rocket barrage through the window, quickly dealing with Hitori. And Vendetta are going to come up with the map win against Quick Esports. A 99-99. Yoham dealt with, sent rocketing all the way back to Mars as Vendetta find the first map in the series.
Vendetta looking very comfortable playing this composition as well. They seem to understand their win conditions, playing around their ultimates really effectively. Like A&J doing a much better job with that rally at the very end there. Goes in, isolates the other Brig. Honestly, we talked about it. Quick might have been the favorites heading into this match, but right now Vendetta looking clearly better so far on Lijiang Tao.
Looking super clean. I mean, maybe that would have been a different story if Quick didn't roll out with the Mei Bastion on Control Center.
Yeah.
But yeah, yet to be seen. Hey, Vendetta coming up big. I mean, A&J was talking some big words actually in the interview last week, and you know what? Maybe they're coming true. This decided match, loser here will go home. Winner ends up going to the main event next week. It'll be a good showing, I think, for Vendetta if they do end up making it all the way. Quick Esports' time to choose now the map we go to next.
Yeah, and I guess the question becomes, do they have any more tricks up their sleeve, right? Like they're a team that's obviously willing to do something different on certain maps. So do they have anything else that they have like planned? Because they can definitely mirror the Orisa, right? Like that second round was by no means one-sided. Like it could have gone either way, just a couple of plays. So they could just, off the rim.
It missed. This is so sad.
Loren?
Oh.
Yeah, they need some more wheat picks, I think. You know, just get a little bit more on the free throw.
But in the morning.
Oh no!
Dude, look at the fuel gauge. They're like, no, they're trying to slide off of the side too.
Could they conk up? Can you get verticality with a little bit of verticality with the conk?
You can, I think, but you're like pushing yourself away.
You
have
push
to conk,
away,
yeah. Unlucky. Glad we got it on camera though.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's fun to see people like, you know, it's really cool when Proper kills 5 with a blade, but it's really cool also to see small little fails like that. You know, it really brings it home.
Without these fails, you don't appreciate the 5K. So you really need both, right? You need both ends of the spectrum to really appreciate both sides.
You need the Ajaxes, and then you need the proper 5K blades, or the Lip killing 17 people with Widowmaker in a round. Like, you need it all. You need it all. And thankfully, we brought it here today in EU. All right, quick, where are you going to take us? Well, Scott, if you want to play something, well, I was going to say, if you end up just mirroring the Orisa again, it's like, you can go pretty much anywhere. It's whatever. Yeah. I don't think they're going to play the Bastion Mei, like, the map pool currently. There's no real maps that spring out to me. It's like, okay, you could probably play that here. You could probably play something cheesy. So in my mind, I think for Quick at the very least, it's all up in the air. We could even go to another clash. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, anything's possible. If I'm quick, I'm like, hey, that Reinhardt strategy, we've talked about a lot because we're commentating EU, where the Reinhardt either works or it doesn't. And I feel like Vendetta showed that they have a very clear understanding of how they want to play against it. They dealt with a lot of the threats while playing the Orisa very well. So if I'm quick, I'm like, okay, let's throw that one out for this match. Like, it can catch them off guard. It definitely didn't. I would personally go towards a more standard way of playing the game. Go to a map that you feel comfortable on, that you know you can play maybe the Orisa, and just match up evenly. Because if you are quick, I feel like you should feel comfortable that you can go toe-to-toe with Vendetta. They just made a bunch of mistakes. As we saw an Ajax, we saw a Pharah fall off the map, we saw them miss 2 free throws. Pretty much everything that could have gone wrong in that map went wrong.
To be fair to Quick as well, like even their match up against Wasp the other day, they lost Lead Dunk Tower. I mean, maybe it's just a quick moment. We're just not very good on control. And then they ended up just kind of sweeping Wasp after that. Looks like it's going to be a King's Row pick though. They've played Midtown. Quick Esports have played Midtown both times in their matches in Group A, both against Wasp and ENCE. They won against Wasp and they lost against ENCE, but that's kind of a given.
That happens, yeah.
Yeah, that does happen. So a new look for them for King's Row.
Yeah, King's Row, I think that this is what I was speaking about from Quick Esports. This feels like, okay, let's go to King's Row. Everyone knows what everyone's going to play on King's Row. We're going to play a very standard style. So I want to see how Quick handles this mirror matchup and how they're willing to play. I was very impressed with the Lauren Pharah, so maybe this is also them playing on a Pharah map, because King's Row, Pharah actually has a lot of really good buildings that they can play around, get Reyna down a lot of damage, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is just getting Lauren in a more comfortable situation.
Yeah, the Orisa remains. There is nothing that stops it, unfortunately. I want to see China, especially if they do end up running out with the Mei. I wonder if they're going to... I wonder how they're going to play this, because it's going to be tough. You have to just protect Cookie at all costs, because otherwise Lauren is just going to be so free on the Pharah. It's just... Especially if you're playing up against this high building here, you can push people down from the high ground super easily, and it's really hard to get an angle. So China looks like they're playing on the low ground for the time being. Cookie's got 2 different ways to look at. You have to look at the DPS, but also kind of focus down the tank. But with Hybrid falling off the high ground there, that's not a good start. And in fact, Kronos is going to get caught on the rotation there after they got pushed off of high ground. But Tori picking up a nice kill.
A&J has managed to link up with Hybrid and try and take down Ken, but it's not going to be enough. And honestly, all that credit for this first point goes to Hitori, and honestly, Loren. They were just pushing Hybrid around on that high ground until eventually Hybrid fell off the high ground, and from there, there's nothing that Vendetta could do. They were just in absolute shambles. So pretty quick first point cap here for Quick Esports.
Yeah, nice stuff. As soon as you lose that high ground, especially against the Aristocops, it's very tough. All right, let's see what how the defense is going to fare for Vendetta. Again, another very good point for Mei. I really like the Mei in these comps. I think they're just so strong. And now it's a bit harder for the Pharah, but look how much they've already charged the barrage. They're 15% away already.
Yeah, and that's just what happens when you're able to just rain missiles from the high ground, right? Just shooting at the chokes, just pumping out damage. And you can see Vendetta, they want to try and find a window to get value with the walls, but they can't really step up because the amount of damage. Please, someone check the flank. Someone check the flank.
They got him there. Yeah, Cookies. Yeah, it's all good. Ooh.
Cookies found it.
Not quite getting the kill, but it's enough to send Quick Esports back a little bit. You see Vendetta knowing that they're down at DPS, at least for the time, as Lauren had to rotate.
And now Dynamite goes in both. Orbital Barrage, the Hybrid blows up.
God, A&J had 100% HP and then 0% within 2 frames, I think.
It's a pretty consistent,
absurd amount of damage.
It's a pretty consistent thing we've seen, because there are some ultimates where you don't want to use it first. But I actually think Orbital Ray is one that you always want to go first with, right? Because if you can get that extra damage value, you'll be able to punish them when they use their Orbital Ray later. So I definitely want to see teams engaging more, because that's exactly how Quick Esports did. They dropped it early, they had more damage, and Vendetta just wasn't able to respond in time to be able to live through the amount of damage that came.
It just feels like a better Kitsune Rush, like straight up. Because you're doing additional damage rather than just additional rate of fire, it's just so much better because you can just one-tap somebody and then you can't respond.
Yeah.
Nice little flank here from Ken, manages to get out of there too, and look who was waiting in that doorway. It was Loren with that barrage. Luckily, Bob's holding it down right now with two different fights happening at the same time here. A Terror Surge on top of the Blizzard. Not going to get too much done here. China does eventually get chased down, in fact. Okay, I'm going to have to eat my own words real quick. Thought maybe China survives a little bit, but Hattori's aim looking rather crisp on the Orisa so far. Nice pin into the wall, ends up taking down Cookie as well. Just a one-person army right now is Hattori in the front line. This is an absurd push from Quick Esports with 4 minutes and 30 in the time bank.
Vendetta just have not been able to stabilize. It just feels like they're in desperation mode time and time again, and they needed that fight to just slow things down. Unfortunately, weren't able to do so. As I said, 4 minutes plus for Quick Esports to get through this third point, and now we're going to see Cookie move over to the Widowmaker. And I actually like this pick. This is a very defensive setup that you can play against the Ashe and the Pharah. Quick Esports are going to have to respect this.
You can see Ken kind of juggling the high ground there. Just wanting to peek the Widow, just every now and then. A nice grapple headshot. Well, they're doing up trading, in fact, as Hattori lands a nice spear. Looks like they might be on the retreat, though. Yep, she's out of there as Quick Esports. Especially taking down the Mei is nice, sure, but there's a lot of damage coming in from the Widow, who's on the low ground currently, and here comes the Orbital Ray. First up, like you said before, Scott, a couple of rockets not enough, actually, to take down Cookie, but here comes the Terror Surge from Hybrid. Going to send Hattori reading for the time being as Cookie takes the high ground yet again. A body shot onto Ken, and the sights have been activated. A bit easier to see everybody now, but look at that. All you can see is flankers looking for the Widowmaker kill. And here comes the later Ray from Vendetta. Quick Esports just weren't able to get kills. They needed to find something in that fight, Scott. Normally with the Ray, you're looking at a couple of kills, like minimum, but Vendetta had a really good, like a defensive pullback there. No one was in LOS of the Orbital Ray damage.
Yeah, and that was kind of the issue. A great disengage from Vendetta and then re-engage with their own. Hattori tried to go crazy with the Terror Surge at the end, the wishful play, but just damage is too high. And now we're actually going to see pretty big swaps coming in. Ken is on the Genji, but Hattori also over to the Diva, so that they can just put pressure onto this Widowmaker. Otherwise, Cookie's just going to keep finding picks, and they're not going to be able to break this third point. And there's another one.
Yeah, Yoham down. 2.5 minutes to go for Quick Esports right now, and Ken sees the Widowmaker grappling to the high ground, but without the reflect, it's hard to really fight into the Widow.
Now, there's 2 minutes off of the clock. Vendetta feeling very comfortable with this Widow. Lauren, like, you have the barrage. How do you get into position to get a barrage?
I mean, you can't. Oh, not if you're in the spawn. What a shot from Cookie. All right, one down, make that 2. Quick Esports, they're gonna have to reset. Yeah, Tori. Ooh, cheeky. Cookie is on fire right now.
Yeah, literally. But the big thing as well is, like, Quick Esports, they have to just keep going fast. They're going to have to expose themselves at some point to the Widowmaker, and you just have to hope that Cookie isn't gonna hit those shots. But now, how do you find these windows in? Cookie is just going to play so defensively that as soon as they step up, he's going to run, and then the rest of the team can just punish him.
I heard the reflect out.
Yeah.
Wall's out, yeah, it's going to buy 15 seconds or so. Doesn't want to peek, yeah, you can't. Especially when the Widowmaker's on a heater like this, you just don't.
It's not worth fighting into. Just wait it out. Give yourself a chance.
All right, it's down, as soon as it's down. Oh, reflect kill, that's what you want to see if you can. Perfect start to the fight right there. Widowmaker already dead, and Rally coming through as well to make sure everybody's healthy in the front line. Terror Surge driving everybody in. Hattori Hybrid super low in the front line. Ends up popping the Terror Surge to try and stay alive, but everybody from Quick Esports was looking at him. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, that deflect kill was such a huge opening fight for them. Now Vendetta coming out with their support ultimates, but they're fighting into a Blade and an Orbital Ray. You've talked about, Jack, how deadly this combo can be. You're swinging for so much damage with endless healing if you're the Genji.
Yeah, Orbital Blade, that's the work in progress title. Look at that. I mean, that is just an unbelievable amount of damage, slashing through people and insta-killing A&J. That rally is just absolutely nothing. You are paper in front of the Genji with that Orbital Ray, and that'll be it. Quick Esports push on in. It's just, you can't survive. Like, what ultimate or what ability can you use there to stop an orbital ray, boosted blade and barrage from getting a team wipe? Like, there's nothing you can do.
Especially if you have to fight into them, right? Like, usually those ultimates, the best thing you can do is kite it away, run away from it, right? But that's something that people have been learning more about Juno, right? When Juno first came out, everyone's like, her ultimate's too slow, it's hard to get value of, but as people have played more with her, they've understood how the best way to utilize it is. It's not really the healing that's the valuable thing, it's the damage and how you combo that with other things. And people are just getting better and better and better at it. And that's why we were talking, if you have orbital ray, you want to be the one going first, because if you get caught on the back foot, you're not even going to get the chance to use your own.
Yeah, I remember seeing at the very beginning of Juno being played, people were like, oh, maybe the orbital ray should kind of follow you or like push in front of you and then you can kind of guide it or whatever. And then people realized its full potential and it was like, okay, so maybe it just needs a nerf. Like a straight nerf at this point. Because your reaction to it, and I like what you brought up, was you just use it first. You just use your first to try and get an insta-kill because the enemy Juno has to use the orbital ray as well. And then you have to make sure that you get a kill first. And it happens in such a quick time frame that no one is really there. No one can really protect you. Even, double Zarya bubble, like anything, right? Like throw it on, good luck. It's just not gonna happen because the amount of damage that the characters you're running can deal.
Now we're going over to the Hanzo, which is an interesting choice. Hanzo has just recently gotten buffed back to the one-shot headshots from far away, but it's just so inconsistent to hit some of these shots at times. Feels like an interesting choice to go over to the Hanzo. Oh, Cookie's going to fall.
Wow, they do actually trade for Yoham, so China coming back in a big way. Cookie dead. And now you can just hold this high ground. Wow, that's Vendetta. This is an easy point cap here. I mean, Hattori is still alive, same as Strawberry and Ken, but I'm not sure they get too much time on this point. Hattori is on this side of the map, however, so there will be a chance to touch, but is she even going to attempt it? I mean, she's just going to get perma-booped away. And look at the health of the mech already half.
Any other touches? Yeah,
China's dead. Okay, Cookie ends up taking down Ken, though, so a small trade there, DPS for DPS. Hybrid just planted himself in a small corner. Attempting to stay alive, but there's the point, there's the cap. Vendetta getting it right underneath the noses of Quick Esports.
Yeah, I feel like Hattori, she tries to go aggressive to try and punish the other players, which you kind of need to do, but no one else was able to stand on the point. It might have gone either way, regardless of the little bit of a C9 there. But 5 minutes remaining, Vendetta in a great spot right now as China switches over to the Mei as well. Doesn't fancy playing the Pharah into this setup.
Greetings.
Everybody knows. And do a spamming for this angle. Do not peek challenge.
Oh. Now you can see Lauren's kind of in a bad spot. Forced to use wall kind of early, but they'll be fine. Didn't get punished too much for that. As I said, orbital race.
Okay, here come the orbital rays, right in the small corridor. Terror Surge on top as well. Oh, Servo didn't look like they were even inside the Terror Surge there, but apparently they were. And Cookie, Hanzo got buffed, Scott, but in the orbital ray, you just hit the storm arrows and they're dead.
Oh yeah, it's just so much damage coming out of the with the orbital ray. So now we're gonna see Yoham did respond with an orbital ray of their own, so they're not gonna have that to re-engage. They actually use the rally as well, so there's so many tools that Quick Esports just aren't going to have. So it's gonna be difficult to re-engage into this, especially because Cookie's gonna have a dragon that's gonna be so strong through this narrow corridor. Ooh, looking for the one shot.
Not quite, yeah, especially on a brig, like, good luck. Dragon Strike, close to the point there. Rally has been deployed. Same with that Bob in the back line. Blizzard, though, is going to lock down A&J. Oh, it almost got out of it, but actually survived somehow. Not quite. Lorian with a swift headshot. And Sturbort now in a very horrible position as the brig gets the bash away, but Vendetta in an awkward spot right now. They can't really give up too much space. They have just forced people away, but the sticking power of Quick Esports might be too much for them. Although saying that, it's all good because China is here on the venture, and there it is. Okay, they get the point unlocked. 4 minutes and 50 seconds. We've seen crazier holds, to be fair. But if Cookie can get it going on the Widowmaker again, this could be a very, very quick push. Though with Ken switching over to the Hanzo, Cookie's work's going to be cut out for them.
Yeah, and that becomes the problem is that you have to be very careful of the sonic arrows happening. Lauren falls to China somehow? I don't know, maybe getting caught.
Okay.
And oh, okay.
Oh, okay, Cookie's just killing people. All right, okay. Enough said, enough done. There's the there's the first fight. Okay.
And this is a blisteringly fast time. Ken's going to switch over to the Genji as well to try and deal with this Widow from Cookie, but right now, Quick Esports are in this issue where they're just shy of a lot of their ultimates, so there's going to be a window here where Vendetta can capitalize, and they're going to go very early to do it.
Right on the spawn doors, you're going to do them like that. Nice spear spin, though, from Atori. Pushes China away, so they can't end up getting the burrow off. Terra Surge just uses the survivability tool and separates the team too. Kronos in a little bit of trouble there as the spear does connect and kill off the Juno. Quick Esports, they're going to hold, at least for now, but that payload very close to that golden box of victory, that checkpoint on third.
Very important team fight win there for the Quick Esports. They were just shy of those ultimates, but with a big pick onto China. Hitori doing a phenomenal job with the spear spin, not allowing them to get into the ground. And therefore, China wasn't able to stay alive. So now Quick Esports, they can settle in 3.5 minutes. That's how much time they need to get off of the clock.
Very doable, it feels like. It feels like with the, as soon as you get your first bit of defense on King's Row on last, anything is possible. It's either you get run over or you're able to really hold down and drill down the time and maybe push near to OT. I mean, it's what happened on Quick Esports' attack, to be fair as well. Oh, there's both rays, but China is already dead. Those missiles as well, there's little torpedoes just do so much as both teams end up swapping side, trying to make full use of their ray. Blizzard ends up isolating Hybrid, and there will be the offense again torn apart as Vendetta have to go for a reset.
Yeah, you can see the orbital rays passing like ships in the night as both teams just switch positions to try and get as much value from it as they can, and Quick Esports end up getting the upper hand. It's an expensive fight to win, but Vendetta used the exact same amount. I don't know how I feel about this Cassidy right now. I almost prefer the Widow to be able to have the thread, or the Ashe to just more damage. What? Wait, I think Lauren gets hit by a spear trying to peek and falls into the pit.
Wait. Okay, well, Bob's been deployed. That is a ridiculous spear. Cookie overstands Welcome a little bit. Yeah, I think the Ashe here would be a little bit better. With the Widow, like you were saying, the short-range nature of the Cassidy just kind of getting rolled as they do try and maneuver themselves across this quite open bit of terrain here.
Right, so we're gonna see Ken is just gonna be raining damage down from this high ground. Needs to be careful about getting a little, is overstaying their welcome a little bit. I knew.
Okay, here comes the orbital ray. Oh, straight over the wall too. And they get the shots off, a little bit of damage, and Hitori, yeah, takes almost the full brunt of the high noon. A minute and 30 seconds to go, Scott, so nice, pretty close to the time bank over Quick Esports. Sherlock does end up going down as Johan, very tricky target to hit. I mean, went through the speed ring, and you are, the speed of light almost, so not too much of a surprise there. Hitori jumps onto the Reinhardt just for some extra stall, and in fact a TP through the wall too. Kiriko using that Suzu, buying some additional time, but the rally and the ultimate from the Venture. That tectonic shock of the rally is enough to complete a minute and 30 in the time bank for Vendetta. That's a single minute from Quick Esports. That almost 5 minutes from Vendetta really just boiling down. Again, I think as soon as you get one bit of defense, Scott, going, it's very easy to just push closer and closer to that OT, and Vendetta very much feeling the wrath of Quick Esports.
As with hybrid maps, it was true for the old 2CP maps as well. Because of how close the defensive spawn doors are, you need to have a very decisive team fight win to be able to actually close out the point. So it took Vendetta a little longer than I'm sure they would have hoped to be able to get through there, but at least they did cross that line at the very end. And now, with only a minute remaining for both sides, do you start throwing curveballs here? Do you throw something that hey, I know what they're going to play. They're going to play the Orisa Brick Juno. Should we do something different, or do you stick to what's been working so far? By the look of it right now, it feels like Vendetta's more than happy to go back to that Mei, try and isolate targets, but Loren on the Pharah, we've seen how Pharahs can just open up the fights so quickly.
Yeah, let's have a little look. Yeah, with only a minute, you're looking for a rather explosive first up. I mean, we'll see if the same thing can kind of be repeated here as well, with Hitori pushing Hybrid off of high ground.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Oh, what a spray.
1.
It's a cute spray.
A little cute spray, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is called cute spray as well.
Yeah, true. All right, so we are going to see Loren coming out on the Pharah. Remember what happened last time? Hybrid got pushed off of the high ground. And that really opened everything else. So Hybrid's got to play a little bit careful. Tori might be coming up. Yeah, coming up from the backside. Throwing javelins at each other.
Yeah, Hybrid's not pushed down to the low ground this time around. It's not going to fall for the same trick twice.
We're only going to get one fight here, and it doesn't look like we're going to get ultimate.
Oh, well, a little switcheroo there. It's already falling down. Hybrid stayed up on high ground. Okay, putting pressure on point, though, is going to be good for Quick Esports. Forcing a tick, potentially. As Vendetta forced to use that block. Tori's putting down a lot of pressure. This is a tick guaranteed, yeah. The spear, the shots onto the main, forcing the block, as well as that spear spin onto Hybrid, just forcing him out. Both of us just looking at each other right now as Ken and Loren coming up with large kills. And Hattori, yeah, staying alive. There's no chance really for Vendetta to stay in this.
No!
There's no way. They won that fight. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh my god. There's
That
so many people who could be touching that
That
point.
is unforgivable.
Wow.
Unforgivable, C9. Okay, let's take a look at this. So Hattori, look, Vendetta lost both supports. Hattori's off. Strobor is taking damage, but they just complete. They have 3 seconds as well, so they don't even.
They didn't realize they didn't have overtime because no one was on it sub 3 seconds, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So therefore, it doesn't trigger overtime if you're not on the point.
My God, that is. Hey, that might cost them the map.
100%.
Like straight up.
And that could cost them the series, right? Like that's the kind of thing of you go from being in a 1-1 series where if Vendetta cap this out, now they go up 2-0, that's a very difficult task to come back from. Not to mention the psychological damage that you just took from C9ing so badly. So if you're Quick Esports, forget about it. You know, it happens to all of us sometimes.
Forget about it.
Wait, Jack, this is a motivational speech. Don't hurt them even more. Forget about it. Focus
I
up.
didn't hear any motivational music going. Oh, okay. Shake it off. It's all good. We go again. Cookie, just kill 3, and we're good to win this map.
All right, so now they're gambling on the Cookie Widow here. So Cookie Widow, China Pharah. Last time China was the one who picked up a lot of the picks. So because they're playing the Widow and the Pharah here as well, it's going to create just so much space. You can see how much Quick Esports has to respect the opposition, and they're just going to run down the Ren. Ken down as well.
Yeah, and then Cookie can set up on this high ground, and you're going to be so free as the Widowmaker. Scott, that's just it. Strobor and Hattori are dead.
They're so boomed.
They are so boomed. I have never seen a team potentially boom harder than what I've just seen right now. Vendetta have done it. A 2-0 in this series after Quick Esports fumble the bag. Deathbird isn't with us, but the spirit of Rose remains.
Wow.
C9s.
It's one of the worst ones I've seen in a hot minute. Especially in overtime, in moments like that. Like because they were in such a good spot. They would have capped the first point. I think they had a pretty huge advantage with ultimates because it was a clean first point cap as well. That at least gets you through halfway through second. Like there's so...
Vendetta had no supports. They had no tanks. No tanks, no supports. What more can be said? You got off the point. And that is tricky too, because you said it. That 3-second window that you need to touch to get OT, they very much thought they had that. And they're like, okay, we end up chasing down, and then you see the slow-mo collapse of everybody trying to touch.
My favorite thing when those moments happen is the game starts slowing down, and you have that like moment of like, did we win? Or because you know you're so far ahead, and then you're like, no. That means we lost, and then you just you go through all the scenarios in your head. I'm sure that's hard because, like, as I said, Hattori was doing the right thing, chasing down the targets. You know, the Strobor has to back up. They're taking damage, but you know, obviously, if they knew that they needed to be on the point, they would have been there. But man, this is back-to-back.
Heartbreaker.
Quick Esports are on the verge of winning both of these last maps, but they're just fumbling a little bit at the wrong times. Oh, that was a great kill.
What a reflect, man. That was crazy. Huge deflect kill. Yeah.
Here's the inspirational music for you, by the way. You know?
Dun, dun. This is Vendetta. Yeah, this is Vendetta playing this. Dude, A&J was, A&J's interview last week. Pretty sick, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I was running his mouth a little bit. Yeah, it was pretty nice. I like it. And
I
now,
love a good bad boy, you know?
yeah, exactly. The bad boy of EU, they call him. I think. I don't know if that's true. Probably not.
Oh.
But look.
Tori was so close as well.
I know. Yeah, it's like the pixels. They're so, and then they just get run over here on the on the defense.
Just great. That's really good recognition from Vendetta here. Because you know that they're going to be playing out of sight because of the Pharah and the Widow, they just run through Hotel quickly and just run over the DPS, and everyone else wasn't in the position to help them. And yeah, the rest of the tower falls after that, and brutal.
Still in shock. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, look at that diff.
The damage diff is insane from Quick. 60k to 41.6. Like a 20k diff in damage.
They just weren't getting the kills. That's an interesting look of like how much damage the difference is, because it wasn't even like the healing disparity was so huge there as well. So just an insane difference, and you can just see. Okay, actually, I'm pull back. Quick Esports, it's time to reset, okay? It's time to forget about what just happened, okay? Don't listen to Jaws, he's a doomer, okay?
What?
Think about the good times, and think about the times that you've been popping off and stepping up. That's what they need to focus on, because they have been the better team at certain points of this series. It's just about stringing it together and being able to actually start winning points and closing out maps.
It's Quick, but not in the way they want it. Quick Esports, they're almost down and out. Vendetta, they might be able to just link this one. A 3-0. We'll see after this. Welcome back. What a tragic end, honestly, to King's Row for Quick Esports. A C9 to maybe end all C9s. Runa Sapi is the map pick. You can C9 on this map too, or on every game type, I guess you can. So let's hope that doesn't happen again, though. Push is the mode up next.
Yeah, Bruna Sapi, I expect to see pretty stock standard stuff coming from both of these teams. Is a pretty good Orisa and just brawl map in general. So, as we said, mental reset, go on to the next one. You know, Quick, honestly, Quick got into this map very quick. And it feels like we're, right back into it. Hopefully, they've been able to reset and be able to lock in, because as I said earlier, like, it really feels like Vendetta haven't been that far ahead in this series. Just a couple of little things going by the wayside and costing them everything.
I don't know. The A&J aura, perhaps? Not sure.
Yeah, they were going to run on the point, and then they saw A&J's aura and was like, whoa. Okay, maybe not.
His dead body was on the ground. It was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's have a look. No more Rhine, no more like silly, funny business either with a Bastion. Tried and true, tested composition here. Quick Esports running out with the Mei and the Ashe. And then on the other side of things, China favoring the Pharah a lot of the time now. Same with Cookie on the Cassidy. I'm still not sold on the Cassidy, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when you're getting up in each other's faces like this, it can help like lock down someone like a Mei. But the damage you lack from the Ashe and the Dynamite is definitely apparent.
Yeah, you really do notice it over time. Cronus is getting so low right now, but they are going to stay alive. But Hybrid's the one who pays the price, because Cronus gets so low, unable to peek, Hybrid just gets a little aggressive and falls over. And that should be a pretty quick first fight going to Quick Esports. So first team to get meterage on the board, but I agree, Jack. I think to me the Cassie doesn't give enough in his kit to justify playing over the Ashe and this kind of thing. Like the best thing about Cassidy, or the thing that makes him the most valuable in certain situations, is his Hinder Grenade, right? Your ability to punish other characters, but you're not really using that for anyone in the opposition. So I feel like you're leaving damage on the table by playing a Cassidy over other picks.
All right, let's have a little look. Right in this first corner now. Yeah, the range as well is going to be so. Oh, nice headshot though.
Okay, never mind. Damage is back on the table.
Yeah, back on the menu, boys. Oh, she triple dinking the Ashe from that far away. Okay, Cookie, I didn't know. Okay, maybe didn't know you like that. Nice little rotation here from Hattori. A little bit dangerous though.
Yeah,
burning all the cooldowns pretty much to get away. She's pretty low.
Keep an eye on the orbital raise. That's going to be what I believe is going to determine the fight, right? Whoever gets this first and is able to pop it, it goes to Cronus first. Use it early. Quick Esports doing a good job of disengaging, actually re-engaging with their own.
Yeah, very quickly used at the same time. Oh, high noon. I think Cookie was supposed to press it there. Looked like he wanted to line up for something, but look how quickly the kills come in. Again, very little time to kind of react. Vendetta end up losing this second fight, and that will be checkpoint, I'd imagine, for Quick Esports as the team kill comes in.
Certainly not.
Yeah, I really love that play there from Quick Esports. They disengaged behind the wall to sort of avoid the damage from Vendetta's orbital ray, but then they popped their Rose around the corner, so then when Vendetta stepped up with their own orbital ray, they walked into a trap for Quick Esports. They're able to turn that one around quickly. Now Ken with a Bob on the flank. I don't know if they know he's here.
I don't think so, yeah. No one's looking towards him. There's the Bob. Well, China definitely knows now. I still Dynamite, but Ken's positioning right now, he's not in the fight, not doing damage. Doesn't matter, apparently, because Bob's there to back him up. Ken ends up going down to the Bob at Quick Esports. Maybe that mental reset, Scott. Maybe that speech from yourself. Just making sure they're back in the game. We're gonna, give you credit for that one.
My own motivational speech that none of them heard has really turned things around.
It's really turned things around for the whole broadcast, I'm gonna be honest.
I can't wait to get MVP for this match. But as you said, Quick Esports are playing a phenomenal game. This is what I was talking about. Like, they have looked firmly in control when they're able to play their setup. I think Ken's doing a great job in the Ashe. It's maybe why you see Cookie switching over to the Ashe of their own as well, really deciding against the Cassidy now.
Well, Terrasurge is coming in. Oh, these long-range rockets. The little torpedoes there from Kronos. You are more than happy with that if you're Quick Esports though, Scott. You save your Terrasurge, you're coming up to a blizzard, you have the rally, and more importantly, you have 105 meters already on the bank. Like, that is a good spot for Quick Esports to be in, as Vendetta finally get that control of that bot.
Yeah, and they get the forward spawns as well. Most importantly, Hattori also is able to get the group respawn, so it doesn't actually stagger themselves that hard as well. So there's so many things that work for Quick Esports. They might not even lose forward spawns too much here. And they should be in a great position to be able to set this up. And now you can see China's really struggling to find angles in which they can effectively shoot rockets right now.
Welcome to the satellite vector though. Johan, unfortunately for Quick Esports, is 10% away from their own Ray. However, Quick Esports aren't dead. Like, they only lose Ken here. There could be a big turnaround as Johan pops it pretty late into this fight. He's trying to go super low. Barrage still available. A bit of an awkward angle to use this Ray, though, it must be said. But Hattori does not matter, apparently. Spear takes down Cookie, and the rest is history. A triple kill for the Orisa as Quick Esports win that fight and don't give Vendetta a single meter on the board.
Yeah, and that's just great play. Like, they, once again, absorbing the aggression from the Vendetta orbital ray, baiting them in, and then re-engaging with their own. So Quick Esports really feeling like they're in the flow state with how they're wanting to use these ultimates. And as I said earlier, doesn't feel like China's able to find the value on the Pharah here. It can be difficult. There's not a lot of defensive high ground, so it feels like China's unable to find great angles to be able to rain down rockets and get that damage in, and also hasn't been able to use a barrage at all so far in this round.
Crack shots from Cookie there, putting Hattori in an awkward spot and to use all their abilities to get out of there. Bob has been launched into the back line, doing a good job of like locking people down though, to be fair. Tori has been isolated, she ends up falling to China. A&J though the same. We'll see if Quick Esports can still come back into this one. They've got ults to work with, but no tank in the front line, so it's going to be rather hard to actually gain and maintain that space. You can see now they're getting pushed all the way back. Lorena's got any CDs left, been isolated in the corner, and finally Vendetta again some meterage on the board.
Yeah, and that only cost them the Bob as well. Did a great job. That Bob just splits the rest of Quick Esports, able to punish Hattori and then able to follow through on the rest of the team, and now get the meterage going through. But Quick Esports, they're gonna have 5 ultimates to deal with this push here from Vendetta.
Oh yes they are, hybrid. Looking like they want to try and set up for a Terrasurge perhaps, but Ken starts the fight off with a Bob. Plants it in the corner, forces a retreat here from Vendetta, but okay, if you end up fighting the mid again, that's fine. Both of the Junos have their orbital rays available. Oh my god, it was almost at the same time. Pretty much, yeah, and there comes the kills instantly. Blizzard ends up hitting Terrasurge on the point, same with the Barrage. China from high in the sky. That's Terrasurge coming in from Hattori. I guess just trying to keep the fight going, but yeah, it seemed a little bit over-eager as Quick Esports are sent packing.
I was surprised to see the Terrasurge come out so late in that fight. I felt like they're trying to overcommit to a fight that was probably already lost. And this is how you go from having a 107-meter lead to then losing it. And now they're going to go for a late contest here on this checkpoint. Hitori's going to have to use pretty much all of their cooldowns to be able to get the pressure walls a little off as well. So now, Quick Esports, they're starting to fumble a little bit.
Terrorsurge sends out, oh, Hybrid with a double kill. And there is the checkpoint for Vendetta. Surely not Quick. Surely not. Scott. Motivational speech, great.
Don't C9 again. Is pretty much all I got going for them, because now they're walking into a rally, they're walking into a bomb. We know how effective Cookie has been with them so far. Something Quick Esports needs to deal with is it feels like Cookie is getting these free flank angles. You see where Cookie is right now? Cookie's getting in there for free and able to do so much damage, and no one's dealing with that threat.
On the high ground as well. Nice little headshot bomb gets launched out. The coach gun to try and get away. Eventually ends up going down to the burn from the Dynamites. 95 meters though, Scott, and look at the ultimates from the Junos. They're so close. Bob is doing a lot of work right now, but it looks like Vendetta just want to play back, knowing that Cronus has got this Juno ultimate in 5%, but Yoham is not too far behind.
Forward spawns should be coming out for Cookie, so they're going to be able to re-engage. As you said, Cronus having the advantage, not anymore. Who's going to go first with the orbital ray?
Yeah, that's going to be the big question here. A&J can also start this fight with the rally as well. Scott, here comes the orbital ray from Kronos. It's been launched in. Those little torpedoes are hitting Yoham, but the multiple ray is also being used by Quick Esports right now. I mean, the rally from A&J is going to keep people alive, but not for too much longer as that Blizzard comes in. He gets a huge freeze. Kronos and Hybrid just getting absolutely dominated by Loren. And Quick Esports live to tell the tale. 7 meters separates them. And a loss here as Vendetta only score 100 on their push.
China does get late spawn, so they're going to have to wait a little bit before they can take this fight. Both teams, similar-ish ultimates, DPS and a tank ult to their name. But yeah, you can see Quick Esports, they're not in any serious rush. They understand they don't need to win a fight, they don't need to get more meterage, they just need to hold off from Vendetta, so they're willing to back up and take a fight in a better spot.
What is this? What is this fight? China with a low to the ground barrage. Ends up doing a little bit of damage to Ken, but that's about it. Yoham and Lauren coming up with big kills here, and Quick Esports firmly in control right now, or at least it feels like it's got 50 seconds to go. Vendetta have got no ults in the bank, have to go for a recontest here, as Quick Esports are going to get forward spawn.
Yeah, and then Vendetta don't have any ultimates. It's going into final fight territory. This is going to be really dangerous. Most importantly as well, Cronus has fallen behind on the orbital ray charge just because of that lost fight. So Yoham, if they get this orbital ray up, they're going to have such a huge advantage early on in this fight.
Yeah, Quick Esports, it feels like they've got every single tool that they need to win this map and set them on the path to a potential reverse sweep. Cookie taking a lot of damage. Luckily for Quick Esports, Yoham was able to dodge out of the way of that final shot from Cookie as OT approaches.
Yeah, and once again, Quick Esports, they're willing to disengage, take the fight where they have their defense on a proper high ground. You can see they're more than comfortable just sitting there. Early orbital ray.
Orbital ray, yeah, I mean, that's about over, Scott. Look at the damage coming through from those little torpedoes. Hey, Hybrid managed to eat that Blizzard, but it is Quick Esports finding themselves a foot in the series after what was a devastating loss on King's Row. A one-map victory. You need a couple more to find the complete reverse sweep, but it starts now.
Yeah, Quick Esports stumbled a little bit in the middle of that map, but able to stabilize once again. And honestly, that's the Quick Esports we need to see. I think they played a phenomenal game around their May. They played a great job, just like playing into their own strengths. The way that they manipulated Vendetta's orbital rays and then countered them was very impressive. And I think that won them so many crucial team fights that gave them that advantage, and that 107-meter lead that just sort of propelled them to the advantage.
All right, well, here we go. Reverse sweep. It's on the card, Scott. Quick Esports could come back. I'm ready for it. Map number 5, banger.
Jack went from it's over to reverse sweep in the
so
span of like 5 minutes.
Yeah. hey, come on now. Quick Esports were 7 meters away from losing that one out, but a couple of clutch kills on Cookie as well. Like getting that dynamite kill on Cookie at the very end, turning it into a 4v5, really halted their push. Could have been a very different story as Kronos was ready with that orbital ray to push them forward to victory. But here we go, still on a knife's edge, though. They are battling this one out. Vendetta with a cheeky win on King's Row at a small mishap from Quick Esports. I'm ready to see where we're going to go next, because we also still haven't played Flashpoint/Clash. So
Yeah.
one of those maps really could swing it in their favor. I don't think we're going to see any crazy look here from Quick either. I think we're very happy to move on this series and not see any Ryan, not see any Queen, not see anything crazy. We're just going to be same comps, I would imagine. There's no chance we see nothing. Sorry, no chance we see anything other than Orisa at this moment in time. And I think Hattori has been able to get the better of Hybrid, where it felt like Hybrid, I would say, in terms of experience level, Hattori, like over Hybrid, of course, switching from a DPS to a tank role, you're always going to get beaten out by the long stay tank players. But I think Hybrid's been able to keep up with Hattori, but now at the very least, these Terror Surges have just been a little bit better. The positioning's been a little bit better. And as you can see, the map stats on your screen, a bit more one-sided than what it felt like in the lobby, or in the server, sorry.
If I'm Vendetta, I'm trying to find a map where China can play Pharah. That really feels like when they're at their most comfortable. That was the thing that I think they really struggled with on this map. Didn't feel like China was able to really get a lot of value with the Pharah. Like, I saw one barrage, and that was against the Ashe going up a jump pad. So, like, it's pretty hard to get value for, you know, when you're playing Pharah on situations like that. So if they can find a map where China feels a little bit more comfortable, they can play their own style a little bit more, that could get them the edge over Quick Esports.
Well, it is up to Vendetta to choose a map now. So yeah, maybe not going to a map that favors the Pharah a lot. We'll have to wait and see. Man, it will be a crazy run, because Vendetta also, they made it into this group stage in very, like, bottom place. They came in from the Swiss, and that scraped by too. So with Quick Esports, and what I thought would be not like an easy kind of walk over Vendetta, I thought Quick Esports, you know, maybe taking this in a 3-1 fashion, but Vendetta starting off the series like this, I mean, this looks like an absolute EU extravaganza, that is for sure. Escort, Clash/Flash point. Scott, if you want to see, if you don't want to see Pharah, where would you expect us to kind of go from here if you're Vendetta?
I would have to think Rialto. Pharah is pretty good on Rialto. There's a lot of routes that you can play over. I think you could definitely make it work there, but it also comes down to, like, do they feel good about Clash and Flash, right? These are very new map modes that, like, play very differently to a lot of others. So it feels like it can be a little bit of a coin toss. So if it's a map that you feel comfortable on, or you're confident in playing this certain map, then that can be a great choice, because especially for Vendetta, if you lose the next one, you're going to get the choice after anyway, right? So it's not like you have to pick one and you're like, this is going to be the worst thing ever. And now we'll see Vendetta going to New Junk City. Interesting.
Okay. New Junk City.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the why here. You know, because this feels like it's playing kind of into Loren's hand a little bit. I think Loren's been really strong on the Mei, and I think they put up a really good performance. I believe it was Loren on the Mei for Quick. So that feels like you could be playing into their hand, but also maybe they're confident in that mirror. Maybe they do like playing Pharah in this situation. We'll have to just wait and find out.
Pharah, if you're going to play it on one of the maps, though, it feels like Suravasa would be the map to play it on. So maybe New Junk City. Although, to be fair, I don't think Pharah's that good on Flashpoint at all.
No,
like,
I don't think so either.
Up.
So, and this could be them playing into what I was talking about, right? Where it's like, hey, we can always go to Rialto later and play the Pharah if we need to. Yeah. Maybe it's like, let's pick a map that we think, you know, we could do something. As I said, we've seen interesting things, like maybe Quick Esports try the Reinhardt again. Maybe Vendetta have a unique thing.
Oh, there's no way.
Flashpoint is like the map where everyone's going to play some form of Brawl or Rush or something like that, right? It's just kind of what shade of that are we expecting?
Yeah, we want to go fast. And the Meis are going to be very important here too. I think Mei, especially on New Junk City, is so good. There's so many like small choke points or like avenues to get to the point where you can just use the Mei wall to like such a crazy effect on these points. So I think we're going to see a lot more Mei, unless we go maybe a little bit quicker. See teams obviously opt for Tracer, another fairly good pick on this map. But as we load in, it's just Quick Esports' time to come back in the series. Vendetta one map away from making it to the main event next week in this decider match. As we see, I'm starting to get quite hungry, and
yeah, no, honestly, I don't know how I feel about the hot dogs in
the bread,
in a
slice of bread.
it kind of feels like they're trying to make snags, but then they missed it, which as an Australian
Wait, what's a
infuriates
snag?
me. What do you mean, what's a snag? It's a sausage and bread that you get from Bunnings on a Sunday.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Come on,
I've
get
lived in
it, Jack.
Australia most of my life. My bad.
Jack, get it together, okay?
Bunnings.
Get
Let's
a
all go
Bunnings.
down to the local Bunnings later.
Exactly. Sunday, we go get Bunnings and we're gonna get a snag. And
How
now,
about this? You pick me up after this, and we'll go to a Bunnings. We'll try.
let's do it. I'll see you at Bunnings. I'll pick you up.
All right, Loren on the May, Ken on the Casti versus China Venture, and then Cookie on the Cass here, as we see a small rotation from Vendetta trying to catch Quick Esports. Well, they don't want any of that smoke, apparently. Loren going pretty low, forced to use that ice block fairly early on that burrow on the Venture. Wow, it's a very aggressive push from Tori there, really trying to force Hybrid to use as many cooldowns as possible.
Yeah, I really like the Venture here, sort of giving them a little bit of cycling going on here. Wall is down, but Laron is going to fall regardless. Ken does manage to trade it back for A and J, so healing is going to be low for Vendetta, but the damage might already be done.
Yeah, Ken's aim is looking crispy, I will say, but the Orisa, I will say, as some of the biggest BM an Orisa player can do, they stand in front of you, don't move, hit gold, and just shoot you.
Yeah, just shoot you.
I can't do it. Why do I even try? Good first fight, though, for Team Vendetta.
Yeah, 100%. I actually really like the Venture. You know, we're talking about the different shades that we can see Vendetta do. Venture's very strong on this map. Your ability to play corners, play flanks, find windows of opportunity to really punish backliners is really strong here. And you can see exactly this, right? China stepping up, going in for an early dig, which is actually surprising.
Behind that wall, though. I mean, this, yeah. Can you win this fight? Absolutely not. There is no way. A little orbital ray, and especially on a map, or like even a game type, to be fair, like Flashpoint, those big AoE ults, they just get so much extra value because you're fighting around one centralized location and you're forced into these small choke points. It's GG so fast. It's huge pop.
Yeah, 100%. But now they have the advantage, they get to come in with their own. Early wall, early high noon.
Oh, can they get the kill? Johan strafing with the, well, had to strafe away, to be fair. I think they were going to get killed by China regardless. I mean, that's Quick Esports losing their orbital ray. They got no chance in this fight. That's going to be first point to Vendetta.
They didn't use the orbital ray, but they are going to lose the first checkpoint, which is that, like, that hurts when it doesn't cost Vendetta really anything. The silver lining is that they have all of their ultimates as they head over to the next point. So we'll have to keep an eye, and it looks like it's over towards what? Junkyard. I was gonna call it bomb flats, and I knew that wasn't right. Oh, look at Vendetta, sneaky beaky like.
I like this play.
Yeah,
Sneaky.
Arisa crouched down.
yeah, your head's making over, bro. Oh, they're gonna force the race super early. Okay, Vendetta, chill with that. Okay, we're vibing. We can just back all the way up. That's your ult gone, and look at Chronos, Scott. 70% towards a ray of their own.
Wow, that's a quick charge. They can get this advantage back. Rallies go up from both sides.
Free as well. Rally popped. Ken high noon on the high ground. No fear of the bash here as A&J is on lower. Those shots do end up coming out, absorbed, I think, by the Arisa's large hulking body. Loren ends up going down first to Hybrid, though. A nice little flashbang does land onto A&J, but the kills are going in favor of Vendetta right now as China and Cookie end up cleaning up. Cookie just finding themselves firmly on the point, and Quick Esports got their hopes of staying in this series quickly slipping through their fingers. That early aggression from Vendetta forcing that ray has cost Quick big time.
Yeah, and that tectonic shock, it's not very good, you know? It's an ultimate that's very difficult to use at a very high level because people have a lot of mobility, people know how to avoid it, so you'll trade that out for the orbital ray, and now we're gonna get a very early high noon, bit of zoning, almost a little too early, I think, for Vendetta. But more time on the board. High noon is a difficult ultimate to get value from, but they're walking into a orbital ray from Cronus on Vendetta, and that's going to be hard to fight into.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't win this fight. Terra Surge drags everybody in. Blizzard's going to come out as well from Loren. Strebel's already dead. A&J caught out by the Blizzard, but just, again, the overwhelming amount of damage is too much. Hattori does pick up a couple of kills, but she's alone, has to back off. It looks like Quick Esports, they're going to have to go up this point again, it feels like, Scott. Ken switching over to the Ashe. Maybe they've got a touch, but apart from the speed ring, there's no one that is speedy on the side of Quick Esports to get that final little touch here without getting disrupted by the Orisa. And they're just going to give it up, Scott.
That feels real bad. I felt like there might have been a window there. Vendetta didn't have any supports to speak of, but Quick Esports just not willing to gamble on a potential retake. If that went poorly, it would have just been potentially the entire map and the series over. So thinking better of it, getting the positioning as we head over to the next point, and now they should at least be able to get the first cap, and they have ultimates online.
Okay, let's have a look how Quick Esports end up approaching this offense from Vendetta. No ults on the side of Vendetta right now, at least China 10% away. They have got Terror Surge to kind of lock the fort down, and Ken's also in a good spot as well. I think you're right, it was a very smart heads-up play. Obviously, you're going to go down a point, but you do get a better position for a defense. Oh, they know. Smart, actually. They heard China from a mile away. Tectonic Shock is going to come out, though, just rippling through the backline, and already Ken is just isolated and killed. Huge kills from Vendetta, and that's going to be the point you've got to imagine, even with Hattori. Once again, coming up with kills, but it doesn't matter. Team wipe coming through. Quick Esports ejected from the point. This is all Vendetta's game, Scott. It feels they're playing at such a fast tempo that Quick Esports cannot match.
Well, the China venture is really throwing a wrench in the way Quick Esports wants to play. They like sort of playing from front to back, but right now it feels like the venture's just creating a distraction. Think of that last fight in particular, right? China goes in, doesn't really accomplish anything, but forces so many people to turn around and look at them that all of a sudden they're able to come back and get in. Now Lorenz had to use a block early, orbital ray, but nothing's coming from it.
Yeah, High Noon's actually just dissuading them to push. Headshot onto Johan, sends him recoiling, has to play around this corner, receives a pack just in time to stay alive. Ring onto Hybrids, he pushes on forwards, and that's unbelievable Terror Surge. The Ring puts you in position, and the orbital ray on top of the Terror Surge. No one is surviving that, and Hattori's getting staggered as well. It's the end of the earth. This is final fight territory right now as Quick Esports try and go fast heroes to come back.
Yeah, they go over to the Sombra, Loren with it, but is that even going to be enough? Loren's going to be able to touch, but instantly going to die.
Yep, goodbye. And Strabo's there as well. Doesn't end up getting the retouch either. Bob's not even on the point, and there it is. Vendetta absolutely crush Quick Esports on Flashpoint as they take the series 3-1.
Yeah, Vendetta felt like they were just very comfortable, very confident playing their style, and Quick Esports had their moments, but honestly, I think this is a match that they're going to want to forget. Quick made a couple of mistakes. Obviously, the C9 was the most brutal one, but it just didn't really feel like it was the quality that we expect from them.
I mean, after that C9, you know, it looked like Quick Esports was going to make a comeback, but then the last map, it was just Vendetta all over. Dominant performance from Vendetta, getting the win against Quick Esports. 3-1 victory, and they move up.
I mean, that King's Row, you know, you ended up coming back on Runasapi, of course, but after that, it does feel like the series is over in some way. And the C9 in that fashion too, when you've clearly won the fight and you just didn't trigger OT, it's got to be mental breaking. We've seen a lot of mental breaking games, I think, in EU over the last couple of months, it feels like, and this was definitely one of them. A shame too, because I think Quick Esports have a lot to give in this meta. I think Hattori is a fantastic tank player. I think she's exceptional on a lot of tanks, both off and main, and seeing them go down in a fashion like this, is a little rough. But hey, Vendetta, they come in, sneak in through Swiss into group stages in last place, and then I'm taking Quick Esports down and go to the main event. And this is a team on the up and up. I mean, hey, if it's not ANJ, it's China on the mate as well.
And here it is. Our favorite moment of
favorite
moment of the match. I mean,
and
like I said,
right?
Like they won that. They won that, and they had like a couple seconds to maybe touch. Maybe I'm thinking, maybe I think it was Hybrid. Maybe thought that they touched already, or maybe.
Well, that's it. That you in that situation, you're thinking you've got OT, because you're not looking at the exact seconds, right? You're not like, okay, now we don't have OT. Like, it was 3 seconds almost on the dot, right? And then it's like, okay, we're going to step off, we're going to get kills. And then people realize, like, oh, we didn't touch. And then in the slow-mo period, that's when people are walking back.
The worst thing is you see everyone like struggling to get towards the point as everyone realizes at the last second that you're not going to have it. I just imagine the Hawk despairs going around in the gamer rooms. So, and yeah, honestly, like as much as we want to talk about the Quick Esports and some of the fumbles they had, like honestly, I think a lot of the credit really does go towards Vendetta. They played a really clean game. I love this look of them playing the Venture in this Orisa setup as well. I think it worked for them on Lijiang as well. So a lot of like different looks for this team that, you know, that kind of adaptability within the meta is really important.
Yeah. I also really liked how like sort of aggressive they were. They were really bringing the fight to their enemies, right? They were pushing sort of forward, you know, compared to Quick Esports. And I think that really paid off for Vendetta. And of course, now we're looking at the player of the match, China. I think it was her Venture at the very end last map that was very impressive.
Yeah, 100%. Like China, I think with the Pharah as well, opening up a lot of fights. Like I remember Kings Row, they were pretty much single-handedly capped the first point for that team with their Pharah play. So if you can bounce back and forth between Venture and Pharah, that's like a really important combo. They can also play the Mei as you see here. So you know, really solid play here coming out of China.
Yeah, very flexible player, which is really important in these kind of metas. And especially a team, if you're only running in as 5, right? You want a player like China that can play Fire, that can play Tracer, that can play Mei. The silly heroes. And yeah, the Venture's really sick. I mean, there's a pick that they've picked up for quite some time now and incredibly adapt on it. And even you mentioned it's got like getting those tectonic shocks off to have value is just hard, but China always managed to make it work.
Yeah. Great stuff from Vendetta. We're gonna move on to our first post-match interview of EMEA region. We got Anj on the line for a quick talk. Anj, can you hear us? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly.
Hey, there he is. Hey, big congratulations.
Hello. Is my camera not working? Is my webcam not working?
It's coming up right now. Hey, nice shades. Let's go.
Let's go.
Bro, I gotta say, I think EMEA has the best post-match interview. You guys are so entertaining. Of course, you guys have the skills to back it up as well. And I just want to say big congratulations on getting the win. Man, like, what does it feel like getting the win today against Quick Esports?
It feels amazing, Danny. You have no idea. It feels amazing. First of all, I'm not playing on my home setup, as some of you probably already noticed. So that's a W for me as well. Just playing on a.
You're not a home fan? Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
You have a really nice setup. Your room looks amazing.
It is sick.
Thank you. Thank you.
You should just stay there forever. This should be your setup.
I will. I definitely. I mean, I'm just gonna live here at this point. Like, come on.
How did you feel off that C9 on Kings Row? Because that was tragic, man. You guys must have been crazy in comms.
Yeah, it was okay. So first of all, we were already thinking about like the next fight, right? Okay, guys, reset. Let's go back into on the drawing board, and then we just look at the screen and we're like, wait, hold on a second. They forgot something, I think. But yeah, okay, but yeah, I mean that happens. It happens, you know. But it turned out in our favor.
How did you feel? You go into Lijiang Tower, they came out on Reinhardt, Bastion, they were throwing everything they could at your tanks. Like, how did you feel about it? Were you confident going into that?
You know what's crazy? We actually talked about it before the map started. We talked with each other about, okay, we can expect this comp because we've done some scouting beforehand. And we were already like, okay, if they play Bastion, we're just gonna like wait the form out. We're gonna kite the form, and then as soon as the form is over, guys, we go in, okay? Like, we talked about it before, and then we were not as surprised as they probably thought that we were going to be. So yeah.
Yeah, you have easily dealt with the Rhine and the Bastion and whatnot. It's kind of sick. I want to ask you one last question real quick. Going into the main event, like, who do you think your biggest competitor is? Is there any team that you really want to take down and like show them who's boss?
I really, really want to take down ENCE. No particular reason at all, but I really think that ENCE right now has one of the strongest rosters there is. Also, Space Station is going to be like a top competitor. If we could somehow find a way to win against Space Station or ENCE either, that would be amazing. Honestly, that would be amazing.
Shooting high, I love it.
I believe in you, Anj. I believe in Vendetta.
Hey, always shoot high. Always shoot high. You know that.
Exactly.
True that.
Exactly.
You gotta aim high.
All right, and we're gonna let you go. I think that was the last question. Thank you so much for your time, and again, big congratulations on getting the win. And yeah, hope to hear from you again soon.
But wait. You know what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Just like last time, everybody in the chat spam WANCH right now. I want to see the entire chat.
WANCH.
Come on, guys.
Give it to him.
Guys, we need support. We need support.
All right, Aj, thank you so much.
Thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
WANCH.